This is the Sport E101 from Genze.
This is a value-driven bike. It's about $1,500. The thing weighs, it's under 50 pounds. Maybe it's like 46, 48 pounds. It actually comes in 3 frame sizes, so 16-inch, 18-inch, and 20-inch, so you can get something that feels right. And speaking of that, this is the high-step version, the E101, and they do have an E102, sort of a more, like a lower step for people who don't want to swing their leg over, but it's not quite as rigid as this frame. This is your traditional bike frame that you're still going to be able to hang on like a bike rack, that kind of thing. And one of the cool parts about it is that the battery pack is removable, so you can reduce that weight even more by taking the battery pack off. So again, before I get there, let's talk about the shifter a little bit up here. We've got a basic Shimano 7-speed shifter, real big buttons, so if you have gloves on or whatever, you can still activate this. It's not quite like trigger shifters, but I'm glad it's not a twist grip shifter. They're using that space here for twist throttle, which is nice. So back on the rear here, we've got those 7 sprockets. You can see here Shimano Tourney TX, so kind of entry-level stuff, but gets the job done, keeps this thing more affordable. And 7 speeds is enough that you're going to be able to climb up some hills and reach some higher top speeds. It's about a 20-mile-per-hour top speed limit on this as you're riding. The motor, it's at the lower end in terms of size, capacity. It's 250 watt, but it is geared. And being geared, you get a little bit more torque for climbing and for starting. So it actually feels fairly zippy, but it's noticeably quieter than some of the larger motors, which is nice. And it blends in. This is more of a stealthy electric bike that you can see here. It was getting a little loud over there, so I decided to move around the corner. I think I was talking about the cassette, the derailleur being a little bit more entry level, but the fact that it has mechanical disc brakes is nice. Front rotor is 160, and as you can see, the rear rotor looks more like 180, maybe even 200 millimeter, and it's sort of custom screwed onto the motor. I couldn't see the exact size the way it's set up, but thankfully rotors don't wear out very frequently. It's usually just like the brake pads, and those are pretty standard. You can see there is a key in here for the battery pack. That does not have to be left in when riding, but it does keep the battery pack secure, and it's nice to be able to take this off and charge inside, or just keep it away from extreme conditions like heat and cold. Running off of that battery is this nice, beautiful display panel, and by the way, this is a 36 volt, 8.7 amp hour battery capacity there. It's like lithium-ion cells, known for being lightweight and long-lasting. It's good stuff. Anyway, back to the display panel. You press the on button here, real easy to reach without taking your hand off the grip, and that's important if you're riding the bike. This is kind of the standard for electric bikes these days. So you got your speedometer here, your pedal assist level. If you go down to 0, you can use the twist throttle. You don't have to pedal, it's just like a little scooter. But there are 5 levels of assist, and it does use a torque sensor, which is a little bit smoother than a cadence sensor. So it senses that someone is applying pressure, and as you apply pressure, it complements you by activating that 250 watt motor back there. So it's a good setup. But again, it does take a little more energy than something with a cadence sensor, and that's going to help extend your range, which isn't a bad thing. The display's nice, it's beautiful. It's not removable. You can pivot it, though, which is nice, considering, it's super bright out here right now. If this was glaring in your eyes, you could sort of tip it forward and backward to improve your view. The cables, you can see, are all run through the frame right here. Let's see. Right there, through the down tube, which is excellent. It just keeps them out of harm's way, and it also makes the bike look more aesthetically pleasing. As far as the tires here, we've got these kind of basic knobby Kendas. They're 26 by 1.95, and 26 is kind of standard. Replacement tires are going to be affordable. Again, this is entry level at that $1,500 price point, and I think what you're getting with this versus another entry level bike is maybe a dealership and a service center. And they do have a 2-year warranty on this, including the battery, which is pretty solid for an electric bike. It's decent Alton cranks, basic sort of metal pedals. They're not going to be as slippery as something that's plastic, but they aren't as wide as something like a Well-Go pedal. It's nice semi-ergo seat. It's got the cutaway in the middle there. There is no suspension fork on this, so keep that in mind. The tires are going to give you some support, but if you're riding this off-road and stuff, it could get a little jostly at the 20-mile-per-hour top speed mark. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And double-legged kickstand works pretty well. Very solid feeling. So the motor is all activated. I've got it in pedal assist 5. I'm going to go ahead and pedal, and you can see it respond. Yep. You might not be able to hear it, but the motor's definitely helping, and it's very smooth. It's definitely one of the quieter electric bikes that I've ridden in pedal assist mode. Now I'm going to switch it down to level 0 and use the twist throttle. I'm not going to pedal, and you can see how it performs then. Again, I weigh about 135 pounds, so it's not having to move a whole lot of weight. We're not climbing anything. Whew. Pretty good. And again, those brake levers, they cut power to the motor instantly when you pull them. So excellent stuff. And with the variety of frame sizes, this is definitely a good value for an electric bike.